What's up YouTube, Webberz05 here coming at you today with Q&A number 75. So I'm a couple weeks late on this one guys, just on the primary reason that by last week I actually didn't have any questions posted, so couldn't exactly do a Q&A with no Qs. So but this week I just have three questions from my good friend Sparkman91. Oh, it's changed it from SparkTech to Sparkman. Okay then. So I'll just go straight. So, 3 questions. Let's just go straight into it. 1. What colour sleeves do you normally use? I usually like to go for black and white since they look so clean and uniform, although sometimes I do like to theme my sleeves, like using red sleeves for my Salmon Great deck that I just rebuilt. Yeah, sometimes I'll colour coordinate mine based on the deck. Like when I built Plunder Patrol, I went with blue sleeves, because like, you know, water-based deck. When I got back into Pokemon, when I built Palafin, I did some blue, because again, water-based. Then at that point, I kind of converted it into a Lost Box. Then I just made it like a purest Lost Box, so I just kept the sleeves the same. And then when I started into Meowscarada, I originally just used a set of sleeves that came with, I think it was the Trainer's Toolkit that I got, so I just used those. But they just didn't shuffle that well, so I did get some Dragon Shield for it, and I color coordinated that. I picked a type of green because it's grass, and kind of the same with my Yu-Gi decks as well. As I said with Plunder Patrol, I made that blue, but since I don't really make too many decks, I haven't completely coordinated it. When I first started playing Endymion, I coordinated that. I went for magenta sleeves because Mighty Master is kind of like Magic is kind of magenta colour, so I went with that to match with that. Then after time I kind of had to change this, but over time of having to change the sleeves up, I've just been changing into different things, not really thinking about what colour, just picking whatever was available. As for more recently, I've actually kind of colour coordinated it into mint green. This is from me going into a slightly bit of a spiritual journey for myself of trying to figure some bits out in my life. Part of that was figuring out the colour of my aura, which I've now found is a light turquoise green, so I kind of matched my favourite deck with that sleeve colour, and then also changed my playmat to match that colour as well, to just like coordinate that with myself, because that's a big part. Because Endymion's like my favourite deck and a big part of me, so I kind of coordinated with that. So yeah, primarily, so sometimes I will just coordinate my sleeve colour depending on the deck, or sometimes I will just literally grab what is available. 2. Do you have any favourite starter structure decks? Maybe ranking them could be an interesting video later. Ranking them could be interesting after I first figure out what some of my favourite starter and structure decks are. I'd probably have to say I have 2 favourite structure decks, both of which are, you could say, I'm completely biased towards, because one is the Endymion structure deck and the other is the Master Pendulum structure deck, both of which are decks I've been absolutely huge with me. So yeah, a bit biased towards that, but honestly, I really enjoyed it when the Endymion support came out. It was a very good structure deck. It gave me a chance to like properly get into playing Mythical Beast, which I was into at the time, so that gave me like a new strategy within the deck, and now it's just become my main deck, and I really enjoyed it. The Master Pendulum structure deck, for me, I really like that because, well, as I said, 1, I was hugely into Pendulum when it came out, and 2, I completely dominated the structure deck event that they did when it came out. So the store said anyone who bought the structure deck could play in the event and have the chance of winning the playmat, and I entered. I completely destroyed every single person who entered because I'd been playing Pendulums for months. I had done practice with the structure deck online, so I already knew how it worked. I knew what I was doing. Nobody else really was sure, so I kind of just completely owned the event and walked away with the playmat, which I still have now. I don't use it because it's one of those like old promotional playmats, so it's kind of like a half one, so it doesn't really so it didn't really work for everything. But still, a nice little memento of that time I won it. And question 3. What are some of your favourite plays? Moments like doing an amazing comeback, breaking a seemingly unbreakable board, pulling off an insane combo, or outsmarting your opponent? So I could answer this. However, I do have a video explaining some of my personal top 5 moments that I did outsmart my opponent in a match. So I will link that into the comments below so you can check it out. But I can add an additional moment onto that of something that I did recently, which naturally would not be in the video. This was a couple weeks ago at Tabletop Republic. I was playing against Will. So Will was on Gold Pride Punk. I was on Endymion, and Will, being Will, decided to put me into a kind of choke point situation by dropping Psychic End Punisher against me after he had done his massive punk combo. So basically, to hit me for a big chunk of damage. I was on very minimal life points after that, and I had basically one turn to try and turn it around, or I was going to lose on the following turn. So drew for turn. I've actually been in the situation against Psychic End Punisher before, so I just essentially did the same thing I did to out it the previous time, which was get the equivalent of 4 monsters on my field. I think what I did this time was I was able to have a dark and another monster. I think I had a total of about 3 monsters, so I needed like one extra one to do the play I wanted to. But since one of my monsters was a dark, and I was against a punk strategy, I was just able to go link a dark and something else. Dark Charmer, steal the punk from Will's grave to my field. Normal summon the last monster that I had in my hand, which gave me about 4 link materials. Oh, I'm sorry. I said oh wait. Oh no, wait. I didn't normal summon. I already had sorry, guys. I'm getting this story wrong. I had 3 monsters in the field and 1 monster in. I had 3 monsters on the field and 1 monster in hand. So I used 2 of my 3 monsters, which included a dark, to make Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer again stole the dark attribute punk from Will's grave. From there, I did the same thing that I did last time when I outed Psychic End Punisher. Linked off the link to the monster I robbed from his grave, my other monster, and then used the Psychic End Punisher for Underworld Goddess. Negated the board. Normal summoned the lost, and that's how I outed it the previous time. That's essentially kind of the style of how I outed it the previous time. But this time round, because I had made a few changes into my deck, I managed to completely turn the situation around. So I normal summoned the last monster in my hand, which I think was a Servant, linked off the Servant and the light attribute Underworld Goddess to make Lina the Light Charmer, and then I used Lina to actually rob the Psychic End Punisher, and then I just went to battle phase, used Psychic End Punisher to boost its strength to ridiculous proportions, and then I just punched for game. I mean, for those who have seen the video, you understand that I then proceeded to get completely annihilated in the following game and lose the match, but still, I was very pleased to pull off a play like that. And that's probably one of the reasons I really love this game, just the ability to come up with these great combos, lines to outplay your opponent and take advantage of things that and take advantage of the situation that they put you in. Yeah, but if anyone else wants to see any of the other moments of my top outplays, as I said, I will leave the link below. And on that note, guys, that unfortunately is all the questions I have for today. Dark Vision did not post any this time on the primary reason that he could not think of any, which is completely understandable. So guys, that's it. So that's it for the main Q&A. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if anyone else has any questions for me, I do these Q&As every Wednesday, UK time, morning or afternoon, depending on my schedule, with the exception of last week, but as I said, I didn't have any questions. I can't do a Q&A with no questions. So, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.